You know what? I know that probably in the last video was about me saying how number one is the perfect guard for me to use on this. Here's the problem with perfect. It doesn't last long enough. So I got to thinking, my wife is out of town for the next several days. And if I did a 0 today, it'll be closer to a number one by the time I see her. Because she said the number one, it's cool, she likes it. The 0, it's a little too drastic, as she says. But hey, I'm not gonna be seeing her for a few days. And I myself need to be reminded, it's been, what, pushing 4 weeks since I've went 0? So I think it's time for me to do 0 again. What do you think? So, this is my Remington SCC 100, which they don't make anymore. And hey, if anybody from a real, brand is watching, I'll gladly accept a free product and demonstrate it. And until then, I'm using this. And by the way, too, this comes with the guard, but I've noticed too that when I use the number one guard on this, it doesn't quite work so even. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of left things uneven. This works pretty good on a 0 guard. So, with no further ado, and by the way, I will work on my sideburns too. And I've got about a day and a half worth of beard scruff here, so I know it won't look as good as if it were a full beard. Let's see what it looks like again, going from a number one, which I just did 2 days ago, to a 0. So that by the time my wife sees me again, she's gonna see something closer to a number one, maybe a 0.75 or a 0.8. Let's go 0, let's do it. 0 guard, ready, set, go. Whew. Look at that. It is a lot, actually. But I wanted to do this. If I didn't do this, I would have been questioning. I would be questioning it up until I saw my wife again. I've been, man, I should have just went ahead and done the 0 again. See, this feels good. And I know, maybe 0 is a bit overkill for me, but it's just so fun to do. It's just fun to do, man. Yeah, I think this works. This is a pretty good device when you're using it on a 0. Huh, sideburns, that took care of that, didn't it? Huh. Let me take a little break real quick. So, it's funny because with it having been for, 3.5, nearly 4 weeks since I've done this, this is shorter than I remember it. But I'll tell you this too, I feel that much more comfortable doing it this second time around as well. Oh, this just feels right. And it's funny because I don't care when people see it, like if they think it's drastic or it's a shock or whatever. I'm like, this just feels right in my soul. Who cares if I can still grow hair or not? Who cares if you can? To have that amount of freedom and be able to think, man, I don't need hair. It's like, is that still attached? Oh yeah. I mean, I'll take care of that. I've got my clippers here. Let me take a look. Yeah, that's the thing too, is if you've never buzzed off all your hair, there's this, like you might keep going over certain spots that have already been done. It's just hair gets caught on there. So by the time I do my next video, I'll trim everything up. Let's take care of this if I can. There. And I like to go over the hairline itself because things can kind of get, I can sort of neglect the actual hairline in the midst of doing what I do. So, go over it nice and slow. Ah, this feels right. This feels right. I like this. This is part of my identity. Yeah. Oh, and I should just do it on my neck too, right? Yeah, you know, part of the reason too that I like Zero, one of the things I like about Zero is that my neck, I don't want to have to worry about my neck and trimming my neck and squaring it off and rounding it off. I don't have to worry about that. So with this, it's like with Zero, it's so short, doesn't really, in my opinion, really matter that much. Is that still? Okay, yeah. So anyway, there you go. That just feels so right. Like that. Okay, so what do you think about that? In case you're new to my channel here and you've never watched me before, because the last time I did a Zero guard, I had complete full head of hair. This time is different because I went from a number one to this. Also, I had a full beard last time, whereas today, arguably, with this 1.5 day scruff on my beard, it's already kind of perfectly matching this, so this will kind of grow in together. So, oh man, and it's funny because seeing myself now, this redefines men's beauty, you know, as far as what makes a man attractive. Like, whole new different definition of what it means to be an attractive male. Completely embracing masculinity. And man, buzzing off your hair is a pretty masculine thing to do. Man, I mean, seriously, if you're watching this at home and you've never buzzed off your hair, admit it. Part of you is like, man, I wish I could do that. You can, by the way. But I love that. I love the magnetic force that something like this has, where it just kind of like draws you in. Because it takes a certain amount of bravery for a man to do this. And of course, this isn't my first time. This is, I guess, at least my second now. Boy, this feels right, doesn't it? So, any thoughts on what you've witnessed today? If nothing else, if you were curious on the difference between a number one guard versus a Zero guard, this shows you the difference. What's funny is, man, I like this better than the one. The one, like I said, it's almost like, for me, maybe like a 0.5 to a 1.5 might be okay. But it's like, the number one only looks good for a certain number of days before it's like, Zero, yes. This was the right decision. It's funny because I don't even have to use, I was gonna use this like I did last time, but with my beard scruff being the way it is, I actually just shaved off my sideburns completely. And it's enough of a transition where it just kind of all works. Best decision I made all day. I am glad I did this. Are you glad I did this?